Aight.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person
Man up.
in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform, a
Manifestations.
place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best
A
interest.
place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform,
Manifestations.
a place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we
Man
must
up.
stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and
Man up.
protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job.
Man up.
Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose.
Man up.
Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage.
Man up.
We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Good.
What's going on, fellas? What's cracking? What's up, y'all?
Once again, in the place to be, Manifestations 2020. You know what the hell it is.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm
Come
talking
on.
about.
I like the energy. I like how y'all getting it in already. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Clap it up. That's right. That's what I'm talking about, brothers.
Come on.
You know,
come on.
Listen, man, we here. You know, we glad to be back. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. I'm glad to be back here. Got a lot on my chest. This topic is something that, man, I feel like it's been a long time coming for us to talk about this. So I had to bring it up tonight. We're going to talk about hitting the wall and what that entails, some of this crazy behavior that we're seeing out here. But before we get into that, fellas, why don't y'all talk to us, man, real quick, you know what I'm saying? And just tell us, hey, we've got any shout outs, any things that y'all want to holler about before we get started. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Beauty to Street CEO Shirley Raines, feeding and caring for the homeless. I say that sister was found deceased. Just wanted to pay respects because I love when people go out here and do what they need to do for other people, man. It takes a lot for you to really put other people on your back and care for them like that. You know, that's the village mentality. While people look at homeless people as trash, really, they look at them as trash. Then you have somebody that sees the beauty in them and sees that you can be restored. And the amount of lives she restored in the process of speaking life into them, feeding life into them, I thought that was pretty dope, man. But to see the sister pass away at the age of 54 is so sad, but her legacy will continue on through her organization. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that queen for doing such a phenomenal job, man, and caring when others didn't. Also, there's a black nurse, a black male nurse that was warning the community about the dangers of hookah after treating a 17-year-old patient who needed a breathing tube after losing the ability to breathe. One hookah session alone can expose the body to as much smoke as 100 or more cigarettes. So when we talk about a lot of times, you know, one of the things that I don't really like is when people sit back and because we are posing corrective behavior, people act like we're better than other people. No, it's not that. We love you so much. We care about you and your well-being for you to be here for your family. We want you to get on that path and try to be on that straight and narrow path as much as possible. Yes, people fall off the path. We're all human. We're not perfect, but we want you to be here and live longer by telling you to operate in a positive and a corrective way and manner instead of cutting your life short by, you know, rocking out here out of order and things like that. So when I see a lot of these women out here blowing, smoking hookahs, and then you got guys that don't want to approach you or don't want to talk to you because of it, because they see health reasons in you too. A lot of women always talk about men always want to get married when they on their deathbed and stuff, and they want somebody to take care of them. But there is millions of cases where men have taken care of women for their poor health habits growing up, especially knowing that our women are more on the obese side. And I'll land with this. There was one guy on, I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but there was one woman that came on the tonight's podcast show, and she was like, "Yeah, I got a wonderful dude. He feeds me. He do this. I was sick. He washed me, bathed me while I couldn't do it for myself in the hospital. He even washed my vagina. He washed my vagina and everything. And then all of a sudden, you know, he was out of a job for a minute, and she was like, "Yeah, you know, I think it's time for me to leave."
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's just let's just try to work in a manner where we can be on the shoulders of taking care of ourselves. And if you got somebody taking care of you, man, hold on to that person, because there's a lot of people out here that don't give two fucks. I'll land my friend.
All facts, brother. All facts. Well said, Bobby Drake. What you got, man? Talk to me.
Man, definitely want to go ahead and give a big shout out to everybody across the U.S. that's dealing with this friggin' gigantic blizzard that we're all tossed in right now. Whole country basically is snowed in or wants to be snowed in at this point. Even here in Florida, man, you know, Major and myself, we down here in supposedly, allegedly sunny South Florida.
Allegedly.
At the I'm looking at the thermostat thing, keeps saying 48 degrees and looking at me like it don't know where it's at right now. So I've been seeing some images from some of my folk up in Tampa where some other friends are, And they actually have snow flurries coming down right now. Not full-blown snow, not yet anyways, but snow flurries. So if that's what it's looking like here in Florida, then you can only imagine what the rest of the country is looking like right now. So for all intents and purposes, it's basically, I mean, I know a lot of jokes been flying this week, and that's great. The levity is always awesome. But bear in mind, for all intents and purposes, it's basically a state of emergency in a lot of places, especially the areas that aren't used to this kind of cold. Some places, I mean, if you up north, you in the Dakotas, you in Minnesota, Chicago even, you used to this icy trip to Siberia. But some of the places that's a little more southern, and they might get cold, they might get some snow, but they're not used to this level. They're really going through it right now. So this is definitely the time where that sense of community spirit needs to kick into action. You're making sure your people, your folks, your neighbors is good. And this is also probably going to be an object lesson in relationship developing and maintenance and, patching fences, because there's some people right now who have burned bridges or they thought that they was an island and they didn't realize that God ain't put it on this earth to be solo. But right now they could use a brotherly touch. They could use assistance somewhere here and there, and they ain't got it right now. They all by themselves struggling. So this is an excellent object lesson. Make sure that your sense of community is strong. Make sure that you're out here building community with each other. I had an old pastor that told me the best way to get a friend is to be a friend. You always walk around with your hand open, gimme, 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 I want, do this for me, do that for me. When's the last time your monkey ass went ahead and started giving and doing things?
Come on now.
When's the last time you saw the need and met the need? Because those people, for the most part, right now, they probably got an overabundance of support and help right now. People calling and checking, hey, yo, you good, man? I saw it's really coming down over there. Those are the people that, for the most part, they're going to be good in any condition. But for those of you that think it's the thing to do is train to show your ass and to go ahead and have a perpetual attitude and be stank and be stingy and tight-fisted and mean-spirited, let this be a lesson for you. So hopefully attitudes will keep you nice and warm tonight. But you make it out in this one piece, let this be an object lesson for you to go ahead and tighten up and make sure that you are the change that you want to see in the world. We're very big on advocating for that here on this platform.
Yeah, facts. Okay, well said, man. Yeah, it's freezing out here, man. If it's cold in South Florida, you know what the rest of the country look like. Like you said, man, it's cold as hell out there. So y'all be safe out there, particularly in places where you got that a lot of snow and you got that black ice. And the city ain't got the infrastructure to handle that type of shit, man. Hey, y'all hunker down, man, because it's...
Hey, if that's your situation, unless it's a literally life or death emergency, stay your ass at home.
Yeah.
All you gonna do is make it harder for the recovery action to begin. Stay at home, damn it.
Sit down
Netflix
for a minute.
binge.
Sit
Read
down
a book,
for a minute.
Netflix binge, catch up on some work and projects, stay at home.
And that's a good thing too. A lot of us, we're so busy, and I got to get myself out of this. Recently, for the past few months, I've been so busy. I've been working all kind of hours, whatever the case may be. And, I've done that for myself over the past couple of weeks, just kind of slowed down a little bit, just so that I can, I can be, for my own health, for my own sanity, first of all, put more time into the people around me. And just kind of enjoy life a little more. Sometimes we go so much, we on go all the time, and we don't make time for ourselves. That's important. So even if for nothing else, for that, what I'm saying, just kind of take a step back and chill with your folks, man. Show your family you love them. We're gonna talk today to segue into this topic. It's been standing out to me for a while because there's always some crazy clip on somebody's podcast or whatever the case may be. And I just been hearing an overrepresentation of a lot of these women who either have hit the wall or are about to hit the wall, just kind of spazzing the hell out. And, I just wanted to do a little research on it and learn some stuff about it. And I learned some very interesting things. First of all, I did not know that there was actually a social term for this. I didn't realize that, but there is, and the social term for this, no, that's not it. There is actually a social term for this. And the social term for this is invisible woman syndrome. I did not realize this, okay? Invisible woman syndrome is a social phenomenon affecting roughly 70% of women over 50, characterized by feeling ignored, irrelevant, or undervalued in social and professional settings as they age. Often driven by ageist, youth-centric societal standards, it manifests as being overlooked in the workplace, at home, or in public interactions. And they left this out. It's a big one in relationships, right? Key signs and aspects of invisible woman syndrome. Women over 50 may receive fewer job callbacks and less recognition for their expertise compared to younger counterparts. Social disregard, I think, plays into what we talk about here. Feeling invisible in everyday situations, such as being ignored by service staff or overlooked in conversations. Loss of social currency. I think Kevin Samuels talked about that. And Jason Black does as well. A feeling that one's value is tied to youth and beauty, leading to a sense of irrelevance when aging. Supportive role assumption. Society often pivots to viewing middle-aged women as existent only in supporting roles rather than as leaders or individuals with their own needs and diminished voice. Whereas, okay, we're acknowledging that opinions may be dismissed or ignored in personal or professional settings. And, again, we talk about relationships on this show, or that's one of our main focuses. They don't talk about that in there, but I'm going to talk about it because all of that definitely applies in a relationship type of setting, in a relationship sense. And that's why we're seeing a lot of these women out here behaving in these very awkward manners. You see all kinds of things that you just can't really explain. You would think that, we know better. And, we're going to talk about that. Like in some of these scenarios, the whole idea is, why are you dressing like that? You're too old to dress that way. Or, you're too old to be acting that way. And I think that that's a very valid point. Like some of these things, you would think that by a certain time in your life, you would outgrow some of these behaviors, but we're going to get right into it and kind of just let some of the clips speak for themselves. There's a bitterness also that comes with this in a relationship capacity that we tend to see manifesting itself. But before anything else, I want to talk about this very strange phenomenon of marrying one's self. And check this out. Tiffany Haddish apparently just did this, and I found this very interesting. We're going to play it and see what y'all think on the other side.
We went on a journey where you married yourself. You gotta tell us, what's that about? Why did you make that decision?
Okay, so I married myself. Now it's over a year ago when I was in Africa. And I made that decision because I feel like, how can you expect, like if you wouldn't marry you, how you expecting somebody else to want to marry you? And if you can't make a promise and a commitment to yourself and keep it, how you expect somebody else to do that? So I don't never ask nobody to do anything for me that I wouldn't do for myself.
Yeah.
So I have to know how to make me happy. So when it comes to these men trying to make me happy, you got to do better than me.
So how has that journey been? You said it's been about a year. How has that journey been for you, especially when it comes to dating?
It's been an amazing marriage.
What is it that you're looking for?
Somebody better than me.
Somebody better than you.
You got to be able to do for me more than I can do for me. It's not a hard requirement.
Yeah.
Credit score just need to be over 700, have an EIN number, have some employees.
So this is the kind of bullshit we dealing with out here, bro. This is what we're dealing with, man. I promise you, I didn't pay her to say that. You know what I'm saying? This is where we are. And, it sounds crazy when you hear it, but there's a whole term for this. There's a whole term for this, and there's a whole community of people who participate in this. It's called sologamy, the clinical or commonly used term for self-marriage. Symbolic ceremony, not legally binding, in which an individual marries themselves to express self-love, self-acceptance, and personal commitment to their own happiness. You know, it just sounds ridiculous. You know, it's a ritual like a traditional wedding, and the purpose is listed here as, you know, used to represent committing to oneself or choosing a fulfilling lifestyle and affirming one's value. I think this is the height of pathetic.
That last sentence
Personally,
disturbed me.
Dude,
probably more than what I just witnessed. That last sentence in that entry disturbed me.
Okay,
Why
go ahead.
is
Click
that
on that.
not a diagnosis in the DSMV?
Come on now.
Why is that not a diagnosis?
Come on now. This is the thing. I don't know. Go ahead, talk to me, man. What you think? What you feel on that? Go ahead.
I'm just saying. I call me draconian or whatever you want. I just really more and more I miss and I long for the days when people that were red flag waving in a Category 6 hurricane storm crazy were picked up off the streets and Baker acted. I miss those days where we had the mental hospitals in every town and a rubber padded room ready, willing, and waiting to receive all those who qualified. We needed more than ever these days.
Yeah,
I'm lost.
That's where we are, man. I don't get it either. You know, and just some of the things that she said in there were particularly ridiculous to me. You know, if I don't show myself that I'm willing to commit to myself, who else is going to do it? You know how many people have been getting married for decades, Tiffany? And nobody else has done this goofy shit, and their marriages work out just fine. What are you talking about? You know, this is the height of pathetic. When we start mind fucking ourselves like this and just telling open, blatant lies because we have no answers, you know, and doing goofy shit for attention, which is what I feel like this is. You know, either you're doing something ridiculous and goofy for attention, or you have a serious mental issue, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. Ant, what you say, man? Me and Bobby, we don't know. We lost, man. What you got?
You know, it's kind of similar to when we're online and we see women complaining about shit all the time.
Yeah.
And you look at the women that really complain a lot, they don't look good. And if they look good, they always have some fucked up relationship situations going on. They don't know how to vet. They don't know nothing. And because they don't know how to do it correctly, they blame everybody else but looking internally. And when you look at all of these, like she's not the first, and she won't be the last to marry herself. There was girls doing it, women doing it before her, you know. And when you look at the people that's doing it, it's always people that have fucked up relationship situations. Remember, we're talking about her, who not only did she have that real distasteful skit with Ari Spears about that pedo shit?
It was disgusting.
That ruined her career, and psychologically, she hasn't recovered since then. But even no, that was early, but they exposed that. But even after that, she got in a relationship with Common Sense, right? That shit ain't go nowhere, right? So that's a black man. And then she went and she was all into white men this, white men that. She ended up dating some white men, and that shit ain't work out. So if you failing on the white side, you failing on the black side, nobody wants to date you. Guess what option you have? To date yourself. And that's what a lot of these women are doing, because it's safer to date themselves than to go out here and find a suitable mate that makes them have to look into that mirror in order to be that mate that they need for them as well. So a lot of it is self-accountability that they don't want to face. So guess what? It's the Spider-Man meme, right? If I marry myself, now I'm Spider-Man meme. I'm pointing at myself.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I don't go and put my shit off. I can't put my shit off on somebody else. I can put it off on myself, because I'm not going to blame myself. I'm not going to be mad at myself. So it's an easy way to scapegoat out of reality temporarily until they get back into this reality form that this shit ain't even working out for me. Because at the end of the day, as much as women would sit back and say they want to get rid of all the men on the planet and do this and men ain't crap and all that, there's a man, several men in her life that helped her out. Even just the fact that Kevin Hart put her out there like that. He gave her the opportunity. That was a man doing that. And that's just one man in the forefront that we know about. But all the men behind the scenes have done a phenomenal job helping you out to get where you need to get, or just doing simple things, fixing a light bulb, getting your car fixed, taking you out to eat and making sure you good, you know, protecting you when somebody treats you bad, being the emotional sponge for you when you out here in these fucked up relationships and you always got this guy sitting in the corner that you sit back and dump your whole fucking expressions on, and he has to absorb that shit on top of him having to deal with his shit as a man. You know, it's a lot, but that's when you look at the common denominator. All of these women have fucked up vetting experiences and fucked up relationships.
You hit on something very key there, and I'm glad that you said it, because that was what I wanted to hear somebody else say it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I wasn't tripping. A lot of these people, shit, I would say just about all these people, when you see them going out here, going to these type of extremes where they're doing some goofy shit like marrying themselves, that almost always points to severe internal problems. You know what I'm saying? It's you. You are the problem. And you're so unaccountable, and that's what makes it even more pathetic. You're so unaccountable. You're so childish and so unwilling to do some self-reflection and find out what the problem is and work on it, that you'll do some ridiculous nonsense like marry yourself. I can't think of anything more pathetic that I've ever seen. And by the way, like you said, there are other people, other celebrities that have done this, include Adriana Lima, Britney Spears, Emma Watson. You know, there's some other people who have done this as well. Interestingly enough, you don't really see men.
All of them got the common ground. Britney Spears had horrible. You went and got pregnant by a dude who didn't take care of the black girl he got pregnant from.
Case in point.
I'm just saying. And you, interestingly enough, you don't see men going out here marrying themselves. And this is what I be trying to tell people. It's not the same dynamic. We don't move the same. You know, the world will coddle women, and they'll tell you see these women go marry themselves, and there's a whole bunch of people at the ceremony supporting it. What are you supporting? They will coddle them no matter what goofy shit they do. And that is why a lot of them don't grow. You know, a lot of these women, you know, and this, of course, doesn't reflect on all women or even most of them. This is a small percentage of women. But the fact that you can do that at all and have people come out and support you speaks volumes. That's kind of sick. And nobody's saying nothing about it. Nobody talks about that. But that is weird and creepy. So, I mean, that's just where we are with that. And, you know, Tiffany Haddish is not a bad looking lady. You know what I'm saying? And that we're going to talk some more about that later, too, because whenever you start talking to women about what qualities they have, what they bring to the table, first of all, a lot of them get triggered by even being asked that question. But, you know, your quality, as soon as you start talking about, hey, what qualities do you have, or whatever the case may be, they start getting upset and spazzing out, or they'll immediately start talking about their looks and their shape. That brings me to this.
And, you know, real quick before you jump on over there, and again, and I made my statement without knowing what you were going to say or jump into, but it goes back to the point that I was making before regarding the natural disasters that we got going on right now. If you notice, when you listen to her, she was talking about, I'm waiting until I find a man who can do better than me. He has to have a higher credit score, 700. He has to have an EIN number. Talk about she wants him to be an entrepreneur. He needs to have employees and everything. Again, the gimmies. The gimme. I want. Mm-hmm. The old saying goes, if you want to, don't worry about trying to try to grow and catch butterflies. Mend your own garden and the butterflies will come.
There you go.
If she would have, see, women like that are fighting so hard for control, and they're trying to overdo it. I want, give me this. It has to benefit me. Instead of just becoming. Instead of trying to go ahead and force a plane to come down, you can try to go ahead and wrestle an airplane to the ground. You can get an RPG, you can try and get a lasso or whatever to get an airplane to come down to you. But it would be a lot easier and a lot less work to create a clearing for the airplane to land in. That airplane looks down on you and says, Jesus Christ, I got a whole freaking enchanted forest down there. I got elks, I got wildebeest, I got polar bears. I'm not landing down there. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
If you were to clear a wide swath, a nice clearing, all the trees are down, no wild animals, there's a semi-paved road there and come down. Now the airplane sees it has a clearing to land in. You should be making yourself so attractive an option for a significant other, not by trying to have a pissing contest to try to have the biggest business or to have the most accolades, but by being the most attractive to what your type of man is interested in. That instead of you having to go out here and make this sorry, soggy behind marketing campaign, I married myself and we're going to a year now, it looks fantastic. Instead of that, if you were that kind of woman, the dudes you're after would be getting in fist fights trying to get to your knee and offer you their hand of marriage.
Right. And see that right there is a very good point that you're making. And I don't think it's clicking in their head. I think there's something off with their ability, their cognitive abilities. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand that the reason that they're single at this big age doesn't have anything to do with them not wanting whoever. It has everything to do with whoever not wanting them. The fact you will see today, no self-reflection from any one of these women who I play in these videos, no self-reflection. It's just, they're just on their own dick, bro. Like they really, really, they're feeling themselves. They are the table. They're so wonderful. They are the prize. People claim prizes. If you are the prize, why has no one claimed you? That's too much like logic, though. Speaking of people who think that they're the prize and think that beauty, it's all about beauty. Oh, in this case, it's all about booty. God damn it. Hell, this one right here, this is a habitual offender that has hit the wall, and she has no idea what to do with herself. She don't even think she's hit the wall. She still thinks she's in her prime.
I should take pictures like that. Why is she always dressed that way? Why is she dressed that way? Why don't she dress her age? I was like, huh? What? Why is she always naked?
J-Lo, you be you. We love you.
And I said, if you had this booty, you'd be naked too. Come on.
Do you think you've truly been loved?
No.
No. And do you think you really have experienced loving someone?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
And when you can't get that love back?
What I learned, it's not that I'm not lovable. It's that they're not capable.
They can't love.
They don't have it in them. They need to appreciate the little person inside of them.
They have little
need to
to
love
give.
them. Yeah.
You've been in a relationship with
And
people.
they gave me what they had.
Right, but
they
it's not
gave me
enough.
all of it. Every time.
But it's this much. It's
All the
little bit.
rings, all the things I could ever want.
Right.
They tried to give me the houses, the rings, the marriage, all of it. But
They didn't love you
they didn't,
and didn't know you.
and I didn't love myself.
Excuse me, I love your outfit.
Thank you.
What do you do for a living?
What?
What do you do for a living? I spoke positivity and kind of... A singer? What's your name?
Yeah, exactly.
Really? What do you like about your job?
What do I like about it?
That last one was priceless. That last video was priceless. And I thought he might have been trolling. I don't know. But I thought that was the perfect end to that particular video collage, because I believe that the reason for the first video is a direct result of the last video. We talk about hitting the wall when you're a woman and you're so beautiful and you have so many accolades and everybody's just sweating you or whatever the case may be. You hit a certain age and it's just not hitting like that no more. This guy really said he didn't know who she was.
Lights.
What
If
you
you
got,
think
Bobby?
you're lonely now, wait until tonight.
Hey,
Woo!
bruh,
It just got 10 degrees colder here, bro.
man, that shit was cold. Ooh,
Woo!
ooh, that had to leave a mark. You see the look on her face when he said that shit?
No, I genuinely don't think if he slapped her pimp style in the mouth with the baby powder, I don't think it could have stung her harder than that did. Boy, the look on her face.
Ooh, ooh.
Woo!
You did?
What you mean you don't know who I'm is? I'm a singer. You're a singer? Yeah, what's your name?
Come on.
Lord. I was offended for her.
Bruh,
I was
my
offended
God.
for her. I'm serious. I really was.
But she don't look like herself right there. She looked like a shell of herself. And she, the most important part of that video collage is that second video to me. You know what I'm saying? Because again, she blamed everybody else but her. All those men, J-Lo, goddamn, you got a damn football team. The whole 54 roster, you dig? Whole 54 man roster that you done been with. None of them were capable. Come on, bruh. At some point, you had to start looking at yourself. You understand? And that's not to say that it can't also be some of the men as well, because men are not perfect. Okay, we can say, okay, maybe some of the men, they were flawed in some things or whatever the case. But when you keep doing the same thing and have the exact same result, this woman got more rings than goddamn Thanos, bruh. And she still ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not, it ain't shaking. Ain't nothing ever shaking with this woman. And she continually blames the game. It ain't the game, it's you. And then she gets on stage and, people are rightfully saying to her, damn, you almost 60 years old. You still run around naked? People say, why do you dress this way? You're too old to be dressing this way. Yes, no one should have to tell you that. That's the problem. I don't think these women realize, like, yo, a lot of the time when they complain about all these things, they tell on themselves right then and there when they're speaking. The very thing you always run around half naked, over sexualizing yourself, that's not very appealing to a quality man and what he looks for in a wife. What do you not understand about that? I don't know, bro. My head exploded when I saw that. What you saying, Ann? What's up, man? Am I tripping?
No. When we talk about terms of it, it's hyper competitiveness women.
Yeah.
So when you talk about hyper competitiveness women, these are women that have jealousy and envy and always in competition with their mate, their man, and they have a bunch of insecurities. There's so many different factors of it. But the bottom line is that they're not happy within themselves. And that's why she said that. She was talking to Howard Stern, which I thought was very interesting to have a conversation with Howard Stern. But she, if you know Howard Stern from back in the day, that's a weird mix. But yeah, if you know, right? So when she was talking about it, and then at the end she said, "Yeah, I wasn't really in love with myself either. They were giving me everything that I needed, but I really wasn't in love with myself." That came out at the end, and that showed the truth of what it was. This is why we tell men all the time, and shout out to some sisters, because there are some therapists out there that are telling women, a man is not there to make you happy. They don't control your happiness. You have to seek your happiness on your own. They might add to your happiness, but your source of happiness needs to come from within yourself. And I think a lot of these women are trying to get their happiness from men, and it's just not working. And with the men that's trying to give them all these things to be happy, you're only burning yourself out in the process, man. Find you a woman that is healed and whole. When you look at J-Lo, right? And it goes back to what I said the first go round when we talked about this on the air. When you look at these women that complaining a lot, look at their relationship status. Like she had Ben Affleck. Not only did she divorce the man, she went back and remarried the man, and then they got divorced like The second time was even a fast divorce. So I'm like, what the fuck? That felt like to me when a player has been at the end of his prime and he started with a team, but he's on 4 other different teams, and now they say, hey, you know what? We really just want you to sign for a year just to fucking close out with this team, and we can hang your banner up, and at least you left with the franchise you started with. That's
shout
what
out Ezekiel Elliott.
Like,
yeah,
that's what I felt like that divorce was about. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that and you look at the P. Diddy, you remember she was running around with P. Diddy. P. Diddy was smashing her. Then how she came up with In Living Color being what do you call it? Little dance girl. What they call
Fly
it?
girl, yeah.
Fly girl. You know what I'm saying? And we know back in the day, you know, I'm gonna say allegedly, we are told that a lot of the dancers back in the day, women back in those days, had to do a little something to come up. You know what I'm saying? Even Madonna's backstory was about that as well. So when you look at the process that she's going through, there is no stability throughout that whole process. And you don't see nothing about her father. She never mentions her father. I've never seen her mention anything about her father. No fatherly structure and anything like that. So you got a woman, when they don't really highlight anything about their father, they don't really have a sense of knowing truly what a man's role is and what a man is supposed to look like, because they never had a good example. So your first example of a man really molds you to think that that's what love is. So if you come off of a woman don't have a stable sight of what a real man looks like or is supposed to act like, the minute you get with that one guy and now he molds your whole presence of what you think that a real man is like, he could be love bombing you and doing all of these toxic shit. Now you have that as your poster child, your mold, and now every man is supposed to line up like that because that's what you think real love is, and all you're doing is hopping from toxic men to toxic men and wondering why you're having these problems. And I'll land my plane on that.
Never taking the time to heal, you know, like you said, engaging in this hyper competitiveness among women, you know, and, you know, it shows, man, this is a very unhealed woman, a very bitter woman. She still looks good for her age, you know what I'm saying? And she's getting probably a lot of attention that some women have her age don't get, but they don't factor in the fact that, you know, you're an older woman. What if you meet a good quality man? He may really like you. He may have a nostalgic crush on you, whatever the case may be, but he wants children. You can't give him no kids. You understand? I mean, they don't think about these things. You know, not only that, you know, a lot of men will marry younger women because they feel they're going to enjoy their beauty for a longer span of time. You understand? And a lot of times the beauty is part of the attraction, you know, because the younger beauty, that beauty at 24 don't hit the same as it does at 44. I don't give a damn how good you look. Ladies, you know, stop listening to these old birds, because there's quite a few of them that'll come out here and tell you to squander your 20s. Man, nothing gets me more furious than when I hear a woman say that, especially an older woman, because 90% of the time, 90 to 95% of the time, the women that say that dumb shit to you, they're either unwed or underwed. We're going to do a whole show about what it means to be underwed. You understand? You're married to some sorry ass nigga that don't do nothing, that don't, you know, don't move the bar, whatever the case may be. And you're you're setting a trap for these younger women. You know, when you're younger is when you should be out here trying to marry, when you should be out here trying to find a serious relationship. You know, there's a video on our page. I'm going to find it and put it up again this week. You know, in white society, they have a saying called ring by spring. You know what that means? That means that by the spring of when you graduate college, in white society, they expect you as a female to have a wedding ring, to have a proposal. And you got these bird-ass females out here telling our young sisters, oh, go out here and twerk off your 20s. What does that build? What type of security is that? You know, because they never say be abstinent throughout your 20s. You understand what I'm saying? They say go out there, have fun, basically play the field. So you're telling the girls to do the same thing that you tell the boys to do, which I don't advocate for either group. But how does that translate from a woman? Because women are constantly getting sexual access, constantly getting guys trying to screw them. So you end up with kids before you're even 30, and then you turn around, you want to be mad when you're in your early 30s when people don't want to date you because they feel like you're damaged goods because you got kids. Whole other show. But I'm just saying, like, the dynamic is crazy. Go ahead, Bobby, real quick. What you got?
It's also interesting to hear her talk about all the things that men have done for her. And because, again, it'd be one thing if other people were putting words in her mouth. She condemned herself out of her own mouth.
Yeah.
She said that she felt like she's never been loved. She said that these men gave her everything that they had. So according to her, not Howard Stern, nobody else, these men gave her the best of themselves. And according to her, it wasn't enough.
That's
so
wild.
And
she chose
I don't care what kind of level of fame or superstardom she's reached or how many platinum records she's sold, how many tours she sold out, all the accolades. The hell with that. You take all that BS away the same way how dude didn't recognize her when she was out in the street. You are a flawed, imperfect human being. And for you to sit there and to acknowledge you have had not one, not two, but several mates who, again, in your own words, gave you everything. They gave you the 100%. And the 100% of another perfectly flawed, imperfect person like yourself given to you was not enough for you.
Wow.
That doesn't say anything bad about those men. That says everything bad about you. There's this concept called the hedonic treadmill. The hedonic treadmill. I don't know how many people are familiar with it, but it's one that's very important to understand, especially when we're having these relationship concepts, because this applies across the board. This is not limited to relationships. But when you apply this concept, this universal concept to relationships, it makes a lot of the things that we're seeing make more sense, but also drives how dangerous this is. In brass tacks, layman's terms, picture like this. This is what the hedonic treadmill is. So let's say you're a kid. When you're a kid, the brand new iPhone comes out. And you really want this iPhone so bad, the phone you have, it's okay, but you really want this iPhone. So you beg and plead, and your parents finally go ahead and get you the new iPhone. Yay! I have the iPhone! Yay! You're happy over the moon. You're happy as a pig rolling in fresh shit. You are the top of elation. And so you're happy. You're going everywhere. You got a big old smile on your face, bulletproof mood. Nothing can take you down. But what happens is over time, eventually, that level of happiness that you're at, it goes down and down and down and down and down until it gets back to more average, normal levels. And all that joy and elation that you had when you got the phone, it's gone. And now the next thing comes along. It's, I really, really want this. Please, it's going to make me so happy. Please, 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 please. I got to get it. You get the next big thing. Yay! You're up here again. Happy, 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 happy. And eventually it goes back down. This is what is known as the hedonic treadmill. In other words, there is no such thing as a permanent level of happiness. And this is important to understand. And they believe that this is an evolutionary trait that we developed for survival purposes. So that way it didn't cause us to, right there. So that way this allowed us to adapt to our circumstances so we were able to survive. But what it ultimately means is that we are not able to buy our way to permanent happiness, or rather, we are not going to get to a permanent state of happiness from things that come from outside of ourselves. For me, it's an automatic red flag, and this should be this way for any man, women too, but I see women do this more than anyone else. When you see people talk about their goal in life is to be happy. I want to be happy. My goal is to be happy. That's my dream. For this year, I really want to be happy. Happiness is as simple as a decision. Just decide right now, I want to be happy. You're happy. That's literally all it is. You choose to be happy. You can control your mind. You can control what kind of day you're going to have. You're going to have a soggy day or a positive day. That is entirely up to you. But if you're depending on external things, whether you have a man or not, have a woman or not, have a big job, whatever. That is nothing more than masturbation. You're going to get off. You're going to be super happy, but it's going to wear off. That's
Facts.
why when you look inward and you develop your internal attributes, you work on making yourself a better person. And the things you get pleasure from outside of yourself come from helping others. You're feeding the homeless. You're donating. You're being charitable. You're helping improve your people and build up your society around you. Those are things that will never run dry because you're never going to have a shortage of people to help and assist. And there's always room for self-improvement. Those are things that will not only keep your happiness at an elevated state, but it'll also make you a better person overall.
Well said.
Contentment is the aim. Be satisfied, not seeking happiness.
Oh, very well said. And here's the textbook definition for all those that don't know. What Bobby was just talking about, the hedonic treadmill is the psychological tendency of humans to quickly return to a relatively stable baseline level of happiness despite major positive or negative life changes or accomplishments. It suggests that as individuals gain more wealth of success, their expectations and desires rise in tandem, resulting in no permanent gain in happiness. That is a very dangerous thing and a very dangerous way of thinking, because as you just pointed out, Bobby, you're never satisfied. You'll never be happy. Is always that next thing that you're chasing. I was just talking with my wife about this last night too. Contentment. People don't understand, especially Christians, people who are supposedly Christian. They're always talking about this Bible and they miss half the lessons that are in the Bible. The Bible talks in detail about contentment. And that's what it sounds like J-Lo's issue is. She doesn't have any concept of contentment. You know, you're never going to make her happy.
At some point, enough simply has to be enough.
Facts.
There has to be an end.
That was an extraordinary comparison there. That you hit the nail on the head with this one. That is exactly where she's at with it, man. It's sad to see, especially at her big age. You know, again, we're talking about hitting the wall. All these women we're talking about today are post-wall. And for all this life experience and all these dudes that done ran through them, you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't seem like they learned a damn thing. Bruh, when you 50 something and you still don't have a damn clue, what do you do? Wow. Speaking of people that hit the wall and don't have a damn clue, this is another habitual offender. This one right here, oh my God. I think she's probably one of the worst. She's top 5 in the as MTR would say, the Wall Bangers Hall of Fame. This one right here, she is just she out of control, bro. She's crazy as cat shit.
Many of us was taught to grow up dreaming of my wedding, not of my life. And I spent many years dreaming of my wedding to the choir, and also waiting to be chosen. Well, here's the thing. I'm the chooser. And I can choose to get married if I want to, but in the meantime, I am choicefully single, happily, gloriously single.
As a 52-year-old childless woman, I want to say to the people who think that a woman's worth is measured in her baby count, I mean, shout out to all the amazing mothers, but the childless women have been mothering the world and elevating culture as aunties, godmothers, teachers, mentors, sisters and friends, and the list goes on. And you do not need to push out a baby to help push humanity forward.
Amen to that. Thank you so much, Tracy Ellis Ross.
I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men. Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
So more bird babble. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like the bird babble Hall of Fame today. Like, yo, you hear some of these women talking, you wonder, can you hear yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, just some of the stuff she said, like, and the thing is, the reinforcement that they get from all these other women, because women love these little catchphrases. You know what I'm saying? They love these little yeah, yeah, yeah. Shut the fuck up. You're encouraging this bullshit. Dude, what are we talking about? She's making no sense. I'm the chooser. First of all, that attitude, that big-headedness, that cockiness, I'm the chooser. You choose each other at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? Women, yeah, you do choose initially. You get to choose initially who you choose, who you refuse. Initially, that's all yours. But as far as what's going on in the relationship, the facilitation of the relationship, the tempo of the relationship, the level of seriousness, you don't control none of that shit. That's why y'all are so damn angry, because you can't use, all your adornments, as Farrakhan will call them, to get men to do what it is that you want them to do. You are failing. And instead of just saying, okay, I'm failing, maybe I need to try something else, you go through all this dumb shit. Then she goes in the next clip, she talks about how, well, childless women mother the world and we don't have to have no babies. Nobody said you did. What the fuck? Nobody cares. You don't have to have a baby. Okay, that's fine. And normally the people who are talking about how, why you ain't got no kids and pressuring you are other women. You understand? Like, that's who's really doing it. Why she ain't got no babies? Men don't give a fuck. We're glad, usually if we meet a new woman, she don't have no babies, because that creates an easier environment for us to cultivate whatever the case may be. But, it's start talking about how, we don't have to push out no babies because we mother the world. Again,
nigga, more of this. Or actually, should I say, more Guitar Hero.
I'm just saying, bro, like, dude,
it's got to feel good. It's got to feel good because they won't stop.
That's what I'm saying. What does that have to do with anything is my question. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, fine, whatever. Anything, they will do anything. They will die. They will die and go to hell before they admit, hey, maybe there's something that I need to work on myself. They'll die and go to hell before they say that. Again, the same results over and over and over and over again. And she starts talking about toxic masculinity in the last clip, and that's why she dates younger guys. You date younger guys because, one, a lot of them younger dudes, they kind of look up to you. You're an actress. You're established in the industry. A lot of them are starstruck. They're not particularly financially stable or, set like you are, or whatever the case may be. So they look to you. You're in a position of dominance with the younger guys. And the older guys,
they want to clap cheeks.
That's it. They want to clap.
Play about it.
And you up here talk about how much more wonderful the younger guys are. The younger guys just want some ass. They ain't married your ass yet either. You understand? And you say that you want a wedding. And I mean, dude, you sitting up there with your lazy bone braids and shit, and you think that men find this attractive. What are you doing? You talking a gang of shit that you got some lazy bone braids. What are we doing? The jokes just write themselves after a while, bro. I'm just saying, no shade, but in order for you to be talking that kind of shit, like she talking all this big bad Leroy Brown with titty shit that she talking, bruh, you have to be desirable to the men that you're claiming that you're rejecting. They're looking past you, sis. That's what it is. That's the long and short of it. They're looking past you because they're younger, more attractive, more fit, more feminine women available. At least the other women we talked about earlier, at least they were feminine. This woman, she a little rough. I don't know, bro. What y'all say? Maybe I'm tripping.
I was just writing a list about. I was writing a list because I was going to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Tracy Ellis Ross, Jennifer Lopez, Lisa Jones, Tiffany Haddish.
Who's Lisa Jones? Who's Lisa Jones?
No, Leslie Jones, I think.
Leslie Jones. I'm sorry. Leslie Jones. Yeah. Leslie Jones. And Tiffany Haddish.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Eartha Kitt, Pam Grier, Felicia Rashad, Nia Long, Dorothy Dandruff. Do y'all see the difference?
Yes.
Do you see this? I think a lot of women don't understand, and I've said this so many times. Your femininity is so powerful.
Yes.
Like the more feminine you are, the less you have to speak. It also, your femininity, it puts off an aura that makes you very intriguing. This is why men like to gravitate to feminine women, because they have an intriguingness to them that sparks curiosity of men of value. When you have these women, Tracy Ellis Ross going around here, and she was in the Kanye video, yeah, you dating this white woman, you don't want all this black ass and all this other shit she was doing. And then you got Jennifer Lopez, look at my ass and this and that. All of these women, Leslie Jones, same thing, Tiffany Haddish. All of these women exude masculine energy. Yes, this is one of the reasons why a lot of men kind of veer away from that, especially the type of quality men that you want, because you're a high earner woman. You want somebody more high earner than you. High earning men, they don't want to be in a goddamn sword fight with no goddamn woman. I come home, I want peace. Femininity relaxes me. The energy. This is why people don't understand why that image of the black woman putting her hand on the face of a lion, on the head of a lion, and the lion just sits there in calmness. Yeah. Because a powerful feminine woman, her energy will calm the beast of all beasts. That's why these men want a feminine woman at home, because when you go out there and the world is attacking you as a man, and you have all of this stuff as a man on your shoulders, the minute you come in that house, all she says, baby, relax. Put you down in the chair, get your shoes, your slippers, your food, and you do whatever you need. She brings you a beer. Boom. You're in heaven. Yeah. Man, nobody want to come home to a woman that say, oh, yeah, well, that's what you did. Okay, well, I did this and I did that. Like, why are we in competitiveness with each other? Facts. I feed off of you, you feed off of me. Why do I need to be in an argument with you? And this is why you have a lot of guys that are high earners that make that mistake and get with these so-called aggressive masculine women. And guess what they're doing? They're telling, oh, honey, I got to be at the office for another 3-4 hours. And they're banging the receptionist. They got other lives outside. So they'll pay for your lifestyle, but I'm going to fuck this other woman because she brings peace. And I'm going to spend more time with her than I spend more time with you. And when I come home, I'm going to give you an attitude, and I'm going to give her the world and my peaceness because she brings the peace in me. So there's so many different dynamics to that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about your femininity and the power behind it. So when you move in a masculine way, you're going to get masculine results.
Facts. There you go. You hit on something there. Before Bobby Cook, I just want to make sure I really present this how it's supposed to be presented. Let's keep in mind that this woman, she's not only very masculine, very toxic, but when she attempts to appear feminine, she always overdoes it. And she presents herself like this. You understand what I'm saying? That right there, I don't think women get this yet. It's like, it's some type of cognitive disability that a lot of women have. They don't get that when you present yourself like this, the likelihood of you finding a good quality dude.
Keep that pick on stem. I'm going to ask for you to pull that back up in a second.
The likelihood of finding a good quality dude when you present yourself like this, it lessens significantly. Go ahead, Bobby.
That's thirst trapping for YNs. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah. Fact. She looks ridiculous.
So, first and foremost, I always want all the smoke, but I'm also a highly accomplished big game hunter.
Yeah.
I have no problems with pulling out the double barrel rifle and putting a cap in the pink elephant in the room. I got no issue with that. I slay them too.
Go ahead with it.
If anyone had any doubts or were not aware, but if you are getting the applause and attaboys or you go girls of both Harpo and Kama Sutra,
facts. That's
at
the
same
red flag.
time under the same roof. That right there is probably, you're not going to get a bigger, more obvious sign. The next step is for it to be the Hollywood billboard sign in neon pink and green lights. That is a surefire sign that you are on the highway to hell. And I'm not quoting the song. I'm saying no. You are headed straight to the other gate, not the pearly gates, the fiery gates.
Yeah, you are. You are.
You cannot possibly be on the right track in life. That's how you know you're on the. If you ever were curious, if you lost your GPS, am I on the right path in life? Let me see who's cheering for me. Harpo?
Yeah.
Throw that thing in a whole 180. That's the first thing. And also, as always, because it's been consistent.
Yeah.
If you take a look at shout out to Jason Black. He called us out not too long ago as well too when it comes to Harpo. Yeah. If you look at the audience that was showcased in that clip, you see all the Metamucil mamas clapping it up. All these ancient, shriveled, prune juice sipping, help I fallen and I can't get up, life alert ladies. Those are the ones you see clapping it up.
Yeah.
All of them single. I'm relatively certain there's a slim population of women in that crowd that have men, and I'm pretty positive of the ones who are married, those would not be the men that women would be beating down their doors for. Those are more than likely the yes dear men.
Facts. Yeah.
The men who will send a woman into early menopause and just make her ovaries shrivel up like raisins in the sun. So again, winners, attitudes and mindsets are contagious. If you want to be a winner, you got to hang with winners. If you want to become rich, hang with rich people. They say if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find a new room, a smarter room to be in. So you're the dumbest person in the room. When you see a room full of losers, it don't matter how loud they're cheering and applauding. That's not the room you want to be in because you're going to be the next loser up.
Yeah. All facts.
That was that. Next thing I want to say is the reason why you have so many of these women, because you saw it in the clips from before as well too. The reason why there's so much cognitive dissonance, and this is where my empathy and my sympathy and compassion kicks in. The reason why you have so much of this hard, aggressive, standoffish attitude towards reality is because you have to understand what you saw in the J-Lo clips with the audience and everything else. Women have been getting that from childhood. They've been spoon-fed a steady dose of coddling, of fairy tales and mythology, all the wrong advice for life.
Disney
and at no point have they ever had a course correction. When you're a child, they tell you about the Easter Bunny, they tell you about Santa Claus, and at some point, one way or the other, as a child, if you find out that this isn't real, you go through your little mini breakdown. What do you mean the tooth fairy isn't real? Yeah, you hurt for a few weeks, but you get over it. But no one has ever bothered to clear that up for these women. And so they have literally been allowed, remember, this is upbringing. This is your foundational moments. They have literally been allowed to build a foundation, to build their homes on a bedrock of bullshit. And the first time they start realizing something is wrong is when they're full-blown adults trying to go ahead and act on what they've been given, only to find out, you got ripped off. Sorry about that, sis.
Facts.
And that's why the resistance is so strong. When you see the women that were raised by solid men that weren't given that BS, you find that most of them are already living this stuff. They can't relate to women like this, and they're already getting results.
Facts.
Because they have a different background. It is important that fellas, because you know the women aren't going to do this. Fellas, you need to be there for your children, and when it comes to your girls, stop raising these spoiled ass daddies girls and start raising women who are able to be co-workers with their significant others. Not competitors, but they're not dependent, but they are codependent.
Yeah.
Well, they're interdependent is the word. They're not completely depending on a man. They're self-sufficient, but they're able to come together and partner and build with a man. And so there isn't this going on right here. The last thing that I want to say is regarding this picture, because the way she poses, that was perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better example. More than ever nowadays, you're seeing a whole bunch of these stud sisters, these lesbian sisters out here.
Yeah.
And it's been trendy on a number of occasions, these women who are known as sneak eggplanting, I want to be politically correct for YouTube, where they go out and they're full-blown studs, they dress like dudes, they're like Benny Fresh, Boosie, and everybody else. But especially attractive ones they're still physically attracted to men.
Yeah.
They're out here still linking up with dudes and everything. And you got a lot of dudes showing appreciation for the women. Man, dang, yeah, I know she look like a dude, but man, she fine, whatever. And a lot of women give pushback on this, and they keep on accusing these dudes, you must be homosexual, you must be gay. She's acting like a man. Why does that attract you? Here's the thing. I don't know if this has occurred to anybody, but here's the thing. Maybe more than ever, we have men who are openly praising and attracting and drooling over these studs that have bodies because the allegedly heterosexual female counterparts of these women, their behaviors and mannerisms are masculine. I have seen a number, I don't know if there's a textbook where they pass or a pamphlet they pass out, but I've seen a number of these studs out here posing for these challenges and these pics thirst trapping for dudes. Take pics exactly like that. They got their pants on, they got their tatas duct taped down, whatever the case may be. They got their beaters on, they whatever. This exact pose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're calling a man or presuming that he might be playing for the team because he's attracted to masculine women who are studs, what does it say about you with your masculine mannerisms wanting that man to be attracted to you? There's very little difference.
Well said. Okay. All right, bro. Hey, look, I can't argue with that. This is where we are, though. This is where we are. And, you know, I'm trying to progressively go through some of the worst ones until we get to the big bad Leroy Brown of hitting the wall. You know what I'm saying?
The final boss.
Yeah, okay, the final boss of hitting the wall. You know what I mean? But I got to talk about this sister. And she, God bless her, you know, this is one of them sisters. There's some people that I just want to like so much, and I just can't because their toxicity don't allow me to. And this is one of those sisters. Like, she's so sweet sometimes, and then sometimes, like, she just totally off. But listen to this shit. I appreciate and respect the fact that she at least, I didn't put the other part of the interview where she was talking the bullshit, but she told some truth. To get a woman who's post-wall and actually tells some remnant of the truth, that's an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? So she told some truth here. Shout out to her for this. Shout out to Claudia Jordan.
Someone had told you about dating like in your 40s and 50s back then.
You know, you think that when you're ready to settle down that there's always going to be a lot of supply in the shelves. And it's not. Why the hell ain't no one trying to scoop me up to save my life? Am I ugly? Are they better looking than me? Like, why are they getting saved and I'm over here working, taking on extra shifts now because she got Richard Gere that came and scooped her up and now she got an easy life and now I got extra corns on my toes and my back hurts because no one's saving me. So you have a very positive attitude. I would have been a little bitter, like, why the fuck? Why not me? Why not? I don't want to be irresponsible. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of the goddamn cape. Somebody save me. I want to be Julia Roberts on Hollywood Boulevard in cheap shoes when some guy comes and saves me. I have worked hard since I was 14 and I had to pay. I'm sick of it, Erica.
I do understand.
It's a thankless
I understand
job
what you're
being
saying.
classy and independent. It's thankless. I've been dating since the 1900s and 80 something, and I'm still single. I'm sick of being independent. I fucking hate paying for my fucking Range Rover, my other car, my mortgage insurance, my freaking cell phone, computer, Wi-Fi. I am sick of it. I need some guy with bad health to jump on in and interrupt and say, let me take you off your shift. You've been working hard enough. Like at this age, a lot of the good guys are married or taken because they're good guys. And I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and I'm like, well, your best bet now is maybe someone that a good man that maybe is coming out of a marriage, getting a divorce. So, you know, I think in our youth, and I would like people to know this, when they're younger, we think, oh, there's always going to be an endless supply. I can wait till tomorrow. Don't put off your happiness waiting. You know, if you find that good person, like a lot of times we wait, well, it's not the right time. It's never going to be like the right time. I would say go for it more. I wish I would have told someone told me just go for it. I probably have overlooked a good candidate before, you know, like maybe,
why is that though?
Me thinking the timing thing, maybe prioritizing career. You know, I definitely was always like work. I never thought I had enough cushion built up to like relax and take my foot off the gas and start a family.
That was a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this right here, this one right here is a big one, you know, because Claudia Jordan, on paper, you know, Claudia Jordan's not a bad looking woman. She's an attractive woman. You know, she has a personality. There are some things that are very charismatic about her. She's not as abrasive and as much of a turnoff as some of the other women that we've discussed, but she's still up there in age. And she was humbled when she found out. She said straight up, she found out the hard way, all them options ain't always going to be available. Again, I'm going to say this again because I know there's a lot of women out. I've had arguments with women that I know. Don't be telling these young girls to squander their 20s so they can end up fucked up like you. I didn't say that part, you know, but that was the sentiment, you know, because
what's understood don't need to be said.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell these young women that, you know, you're leading them astray. And they so-called, you know, they think they know something about relationships and they're going to help other women. And you're setting them up for failure. And I appreciate the fact that she came out and said it because, you know, when you come out and say these things, the women come for you and that's not true, you know, and then they start giving their whole list of reasons. Well, you know, my cousin had met somebody, and then, you know, they got their anecdotal situations where an exception was made. You're not looking at the whole picture. The men are telling you. I love when men articulate a point and the women come and try to tell us what the fuck we think. The men are telling you that we prefer women to be younger. And that doesn't mean that we're predators or we want toddlers or we want underage women. They like to try to flip it that way too. No, it just means that we prefer younger women. And what you're seeing is a lot of these older women, now that they're no longer the younger women that were preferred when they were dating older men, you understand? Now they want to have an attitude about it because you're no longer the it chick. You understand? And that's just what it is at the end of the day. You know, and listen to the shit she says. I need a man with bad health to come save me. Who talks like that? And if you notice, half of the shit that she said was materialistic. I'm tired of paying for my Range Rover. I'm tired of paying for my other car. I'm tired of paying for my insurance. A lot of these women don't look at men as people. They look at us as tools to handle, you know, things that require payment that have to do with them. And I can tell you flat out, for a lot of men, Claudia Jordan, that's the reason they overlooked your ass. You understand? You're materialistic and shallow. And it's like she wears it on her sleeve. She can't help herself. She can't help it. You know, and, you know, she talked also about how she's overlooked good men. I appreciate that because a lot of women lie about that too. She has overlooked good men to prioritize her career. That is about a good 60% of y'all that can't catch out here. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta sacrifice some things, man. And you gotta reorganize your priorities because y'all are not finding success out here. In a lot of instances, you're not finding success, and there's a reason for that. What y'all say on that? I thought that was a really, really heavy clip.
Yeah, I was, you know, because like I say, me and Bobby, we're hearing everything based live. So people think that we organize behind and we talk about these topics. Major does the topics and we hear it live like you guys. So there's no research behind nothing or nothing like that. So while y'all was listening to what she was saying, I was researching on her boyfriends. And her list of boyfriends is pretty interesting. So let me grab
and
her
she's
list
toxic
of
as hell
boyfriends.
too, by the way.
Oh, hold on.
She's toxic as hell too, by the way. Oh my God, she's toxic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's so much wrong with her, you can't even address it all. Go ahead.
She's a national tragedy.
Yeah, so here's her list of boyfriends. Medina Islam.
Okay.
Which, you know, he's a rapper, actor.
Okay.
Dwight Freeney, which was a football player. I think he was the Indianapolis Colts defensive line. Darren Sharper, I think he was he a corner or he was a safety?
He was a safety. He's a safety.
He was safety, right?
For the Saints,
Maurice Green was a track athlete. Simeon Rice, I think Simeon Rice was a defensive end, right? For Tampa Bay, I think back in the day.
Yeah.
Nelly, Genuine, George Pagostia. He was in like a lot of shows and stuff like that, white dude. And then Tigger, she had relationships with Tigger. So her life really was like rappers, entertainers, football players. Wasn't really no real guy of quality like that, you know, in her dating history. So she had a pattern, she had a type. And a lot of times women don't realize like your type will keep you in a place that you don't need to or want to be in. You know, you got to sometimes go outside of your realm of your type. And you also got to do the inner work too. Because here, digging into it, I found this very interesting. So we talking about the guy, Medina Islam, right? The rapper / actor. He was in Tyler Perry's Haves and Haves Not, and also I think a show that on the ONE channel with Oprah. And you know, we just talked about Oprah and Kamala and that whole little shebang. So here it is that he said, okay, because I think she made some allegations about him being abusive or something like that. So he said, hold on now. He pushed back on that. He said, look, 4 years ago, I dated Claudia Jordan. It lasted 6 months. 6 months, y'all. I got socks and drawers older than that. I left her 4 times in 6 months because of her mouth and her messy ways. Wow. On August 28, 2016, I had enough and left for good. She began having a temper tantrum as I left peacefully. She grabbed my phone, ran, and started flopping all over the house. For 4 years, I remained silent out of respect for you. I saved you your last ounce of dignity, but you have proven to be deeply conflicted and desperately seeking a storyline for the blogs. Funny thing is, for someone so top-notch, why are you so obsessed with little old me? I have only known you for 6 months of my life. You have a history of this, and I had enough. So I bounced. This is a joke. You do this to every man that leaves you.
Ooh, what? Yeah, what? Hold up.
Jay-Z.
He ripped the block off her ass. Hold up.
It's more to that.
Hold up.
Hey, it's more. Here goes. You ready? You thought that was heat. Wait till you hear this.
Go for it.
You testified against Mike Tyson to have him locked up for rape back in the day. You sued Prince is right for sexual allegations. You snitched on Jamie Foxx's private relationship with Katie Holmes and Entertainment Tonight. Come to your house so you could publicly apologize. I even tried to help you with your career and filmed a comeback episode for you on Housewives of Atlanta with Cynthia Bailey that never aired because I left you. Why can't you move on with your life? One thing I don't care about is fame, but apparently you do. Could it be? You just left it like that.
I will not lose.
Oh my God!
It's so like either teach you the kick,
That's why it's important. It's important to know one side and the other side, and then you get the truth. Because see, a lot of times women love to run out here and tell their side of the story. But to be honest, a lot of men psychologically don't want to tell their sides of their story. And a lot of times they run across a lot of villain women that they can expose. And you know what they do? They say, fuck it, I'm a man, I'll take it.
Yeah. That's what we programmed to do. And that, as quiet as it's kept, that's another way of protecting women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't even appreciate it. They want to get out here and, act like wild hyenas. I didn't want to get into her toxicity because it's so vast. But my God, this woman is toxic. It's clear why she don't have nobody. But she don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And boy, go ahead, Bobby. I could talk about that all night. We got one more person, so we gotta get through this quick. Go ahead, Bobby, real quick.
Woo. No, man, look.
He lit her ass up.
Oh,
man.
Man. Look, the jokes for themselves. I really need us to that's something that I need to become the goal of men, right? So we have entered in this decade, in the 2020s, especially really really the whole decade, to be honest. We've veered into this lane where officially we can say that manhood as we know it is undergoing an evolution. We have a lot of men who have been, and now, to be honest, really the 2010s, if not a little before then, but it's just now really starting to get some limelight and some attention and some highlights now. But we've gotten to a point now where we, as a collective, this goes beyond just demographics, beyond race, beyond ethnicity, creed, even location. The men of today are finally saying that we are carving our own entry into the book of manhood. We have the manhood of our forefathers, some of it positive, some of it less than, but a lot of us have just silently, without conversation, without agreement, just being on code, have decided I'm going to try to be better than my father and my grandfather before him, which is beautiful. And we're seeing men stepping up as far as involvement in child rearing. We have men that are changing more diapers. They're feeding children. They're spending more time with their children. They're playing an active role as opposed to just sitting back and just, letting mom do everything. We have men who are actually starting to fight for the children, and they're starting to overcome the child support and child family court system that for the longest has been stacked against us. Men are also starting to go ahead and seek therapy and treatment more to deal with the issues as opposed to just sit back and just shrivel up and die. Men are starting to grow and evolve. One of the ways we need to do that as well, and we need to sever this as being something that is not manly or doesn't propel manhood forward. Yeah. We have got to stop giving women passes. We have got to stop doing it.
Agreed.
That is that I do believe that has been seen as protection. We want to protect women. We don't want to hurt them. We don't want to expose them to any undue strain or stress or strife. But as I mentioned before, with the coddling from childhood, all we have done, we may have had good intentions for doing it, but the road to hell, you know what it's paved with. This has only served as a continuance of the bullshit souffle that women have been fed from young girls, not allowing them to be properly prepared for the world that they're in.
Yeah.
When we shield women from the side effects of their toxicity, when we have women that go ahead and campaign for getting popped, when we have women that are doing us nasty and foul ways and lying and falsely accusing us of things, but we decide, well, I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm not going to blow her up, whatever. I'm just going to sit back and deal with it. This does not do women any favors. It is no different from dealing with an addict. We know that when you are dealing with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, any addiction, we know that it is critical for these people to hit rock bottom, because if they don't hit rock bottom, if they don't reach a point where they hit utter helplessness, feeling the consequences of their actions, and they don't have any coddling, they don't have any easy out, they have to sit there and cook.
Yeah.
And marinate in the discomfort and really feel that and get to the point where they're like, you know what? This is my last day here. Enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I've got to get better. When we deny women of that opportunity, all we're doing is allowing for them to become Claudia Jordans.
Yeah.
We're allowing for them to become Tracy Ellis Rosses. We're allowing for them to be Leslie Jones and all these other women. Why? Because the men who are supposed to be leaders, hear me. I will give the women all day long. But when it's time to get on the men, I got to act right for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I call ourselves men, leaders. We're about discipline and focus. We're about accountability. We love to put accountability on people. You play a role in that as well, too. When you sit back and you let a woman continue in error, you are now a co-conspirator to the error.
Agreed.
We have to start calling these women out. I'm glad that brother did what he did. I'm glad Jennifer Lopez's ex-husband called her out the way he did.
Yeah.
No longer can men be quiet. Man up, dig deep into your coin purse, pull out your intestinal fortitude, grip it tight, man up, and start letting your voice be heard. I'm not talking about being toxic and being all misogynistic, but speaking truth to power, setting the record straight.
Yeah.
Getting the narrative set properly. That is part of manhood. That is part of leadership. That is part of encouraging and building. We cannot allow these women to keep on skating by in error, poisoning themselves, but also poisoning the world around us.
Yeah.
We have to be an active participant, again, in the world we want to see. Now, this is not to say that we're to blame, but it's your responsibility. I saw a story from a brother earlier who was part of something else. He talked about when he was a sergeant in the Air Force, I believe. And the men under his charge, they decided to go out one night and get pissy drunk, and they had a car accident. The men were to blame for that. Ain't no one put a bottle in their hand. No one gave them keys. They did that. But because he was their superior, their commanding officer, they held him responsible. Because that is what it means to be a leader.
Facts.
Leader means I go first. So when they do right, you get the praise. Wow, it's good leadership. When they stink it up, you catch that flack because you had poor leadership. If we're to be the rightful leaders that I know we are and that we're supposed to be, it starts with little things like, you know what, I'm not going to let you skate with that. I'm going to check you on that. Not in hatred, but I'm going to lovingly check you because I care about you too much to see you fail. And on the road you're on, all that's waiting for you is failure.
And that is the difference. Very well said. That is the difference in what we're seeing now. And I've said this before. For the last 40 years, there's been no complaint of any type of gender war or any type of anything. Everything has been very quiet, very peaceful. You know why? Because there was no pushback against this aggression. For the last 40 years or so, female culture has pretty much been attacking the men, ridiculing the men. You understand? And now that some of it is misogyny. I'm not going to front. There's some guys out here who really legitimately do hate women. We don't rock with them. We denounce them. You understand? But a lot of what you're seeing out here, they just, they hate the women. No. A lot of what's being said, and I had a dispute with a sister that I actually used to listen to and talk to quite a bit. I had to let her go and stop following her because she was just posting too much misandrous bullshit. And, I let her know before I'd left, this is from a place of love. You don't understand what's going on. There's a cultural shift right now. The men are like, nah, this ain't it. We're standing our ground. We're no longer going to allow you to just berate us and belittle us and just say, yes, dear, fuck that. No, you're wrong. You're going to have to start learning to behave like adults. You're going to have to start learning to do things like apologize and take accountability and shit like that. And if you're not, you're just going to be on your own, and it's a shame that we have these women here, that have hit the wall. It is verifiable. What I'm saying? They've hit the wall and they still haven't learned a damn thing. And I swear this one right here, this is the capo de capo. This is the final boss of unaccountability right here. This woman. We're going to go into our trending celebrity news and come back on the other end and talk about her.
And now it's time for trending celebrity news. Take it away, fellas. women are the ones that are getting served the 1-course meal while everybody else gets served the 6-course meal. We have the right to ask for what we want and what we value and what we deserve like every other woman. There is just a big group of black men who really don't like black women. That is a psychological issue. That is a mental health illness, seriously. And that is a direct reflection of self-hate. Well, let me say this. For y'all who got a problem with us and for y'all who seem to hate us, we don't want you anyway. So please stay way over there, wherever they are. They could be white, Latina, Catina, Asian, yellow, or green. We don't want you if you hate us. We want the men who have done the work, who have gotten past their issues, who have self-love, who don't have commitment issues. We want those because we're wives. And we deserve 8-course meals. We deserve roses and all of that.
A lot of these younger men in that 35-ish range, even a little younger than 30, they are a lot more mature than a lot of these men who are 45 and up. They're not stuck in their ways. They are very flexible. They open doors. They know how to date. They are actually hunters like men used to be. And you have the older men who are just kind of like, look, it's kind of like you're saying, I'm working, I'm doing me, what you see is what you get. And I definitely want the intimacy as far as sex with you, but I'm not sure if I can commit. I'm not sure if my old ways will allow me to maneuver or to transform into what's needed for a relationship. And you're finding, studies have shown, the older woman and younger guy is having the higher success rate when it comes to a healthy marriage and happiness.
Okay, so, you know what I'm saying? You heard her. You know, she's up here talking about how there's a large group of black men that just don't like black women. You know what I'm saying? And we don't like black women because of self-hate. And she's stating all these absolutes. And, you know, she goes on. And, you know, she's talking about how, you know, they should be able to articulate what it is that they want like any other group of women. Nobody said that they shouldn't. I don't know why she's saying that like someone. They have these arguments with themselves. No one said that they shouldn't be able to ask for what it is that they want, you know, but she's acting like someone did. And she's, you know, she's kind of arguing with the camera, you know, so she can get the women on her side because women, they eat that shit up. A lot of women, they just eat that shit up because they think back to a guy who has hurt them or who has mistreated them. And, you know, that's how she garners her support. It's part of her grift. You understand? And, you know, then she starts talking about how, you know, they deserve all this stuff because they're wives. Mind you, she's not a wife. She ain't married to nobody. But they deserve all this shit because they're wives. But you ain't married to nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say that some sisters don't deserve these things. There are a lot of sisters that deserve these things. A lot of women out here, a lot of black women are very good, solid sisters that we respect the hell out of, and they are worthy of praise and provision and protection and everything else. But what she's doing, you know, it is basically saying that all women are the same and you deserve all this fly shit just because you're a woman. Just because you got a pair of titties, we all deserve it. No, you don't. And I think that men are starting to draw a line in the sand. You know, okay, for, you know, the sisters, for the queens, we gonna go out of our way. Y'all hoes, you get what you get. But for the queens, we gonna go out of our way. I'm seeing a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And I think she's leaving off two very important words. They love to leave these two words off. We're not getting the provision and we're not getting the protection. You know, women are not getting the protection. No, women like you are not getting the protection. Women like you are not getting the provision. And it's because of the way that you behave. Again, we go back to presentation. Because the last time we talked about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, she was out there representing herself and presenting herself to the world like this. Again, it comes up. Why are you still carrying on like this in your mid-40s? You look ridiculous. And you supposedly a doctor. I don't know, because the university she supposedly got her doctorate at, it doesn't exist any longer. It's shut down. So there's no way to verify that. How convenient. You understand? I don't know what the hell she got going on.
That's the Trump University sister school right there.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, look, she's not a bad looking lady. I mean, she's not all that. Like, she thinks she is, or whatever the case may be. She's not bad looking. She seems to be in shape, or whatever the case may be. But to me, the thing comes to mind that always comes to mind with me. Okay, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. You understand? And she thinks, again, I think Anthony said it earlier, when you're an older woman in particular and you present yourself like this, that's a thirst trap to young niggas. Older men, mature men, men of means, intelligent men don't respond to this. Investment bankers don't respond to this. What you gonna do? Take her to the banquet with you? You know, she's already kind of got her face dirty and embarrassed herself nationally. She's already made herself look foolish. And so if you're a man of means with class, you know, and integrity or whatever, you don't want your woman walking around looking like this, period. And at her big age, the fact that she doesn't understand that speaks volumes, you know. And then she starts talking about the younger guys and how they, supposedly the younger guys, women complain about younger guys all the time. Okay, supposedly these younger guys, they know how to date. They're the new hunters now, according to her. They're more flexible, very key word, flexible. What does that mean when you start talking about an old bird like this? They can pretty much she can pretty much tell them whatever, and they're going to go along with it. An older man is set in his ways. An older man is going to lead. A younger man is going to allow himself to be led, or the likelihood of that is much greater. And again, like we talked about some of these other older women earlier, older men, they see her coming a mile away. They know what she about. You see how Paul Pierce dish ragged this woman. He lit her ass up. He embarrassed her on her own damn show. No, it's his show. He embarrassed her. She ain't come back from that yet. And still she don't understand. It's like she don't get it. But you're supposedly a dating guru. You're supposedly helping other women get married. And you're not married. How is this possible? Somebody talk me off the ledge. This woman doesn't have an...
He really...
I'm sorry. This woman doesn't
looks
have
like he talked himself off the ledge.
I mean, my God, talk me off the ledge. This woman doesn't have an idea. She doesn't have a damn clue what the hell she's talking about. And she's supposedly leading other women. Talk me off the ledge, bruh. On God. What's going on? What y'all got on that, man?
Man, you know, I could get real deep with this lady. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I got sucked in, right? I was bamboozled by this woman at first because she came in talking a good game.
Yeah.
But after a while, the wolf's clothing was revealing itself. The sheep clothing started to pull off of her. And you started to see that this woman is a contradiction of what she was saying. And a lot of times women get in these spaces to pander in the efforts to gain respect from men, but also to build their clientele up with women, because they know that women eventually is the one that's they're going to get the cash cow from. That's their cash cow, is women.
Yeah.
So you get yourself out there with the men. That's why you go out there and you say what you say, and then you get on platforms like Club Shay Shay, and then what's the other, Cam Newton, you know, and you get on these platforms because you're trying to get in front of the male audience to build up the male audience in order for them to repost your stuff. And then when you start to realize, when you got exposed on that platform, now everybody see who you were because Paul Pierce exposed you, and that really opened up and unraveled a lot of the bullshit. Now all of a sudden you got to come out, because when you played that first video, I've never heard her speak like that. Now the disdain and the fangs come out. This is where the vampire comes out of her now. So now she has this disdain and misandry talking points against men. Self-hate, stuff like that. You hear that? That's like somebody that's a bedwench talk like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, I couldn't imagine that she would flip like that. But going back to her contradiction, remember she was out here telling Club Shay Shay, she was telling Shannon Sharp, you need to be dating women around your age. But yet this woman got exposed on Paul Pierce for dating a young dude and hiding him. You know, women always talk about, oh yeah, if a guy hides you, oh, that's bullshit. But you were hiding him because you was ashamed. And he's not the guy that you're out here promoting like that. He doesn't fit that caliber man that you talk about. So you are just in a fling sexual act with this dude for he's your little boy toy. So it came out, and then now people like, oh, so you really not serious about this shit. You just want to be out here, gain your finances, run around here like you know what you're talking about because you're this quote unquote masculine woman that's out here on her own journey and don't need no nigga for it, but just sexual activities. Yeah. But you're not gonna say that because then it doesn't credence you in the space of being a doctor, because that's not how doctors operate. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, when you start seeing a lot of that stuff she was saying, I was like, wow, it's really coming out now. So then after that situation, people had peeped her on some other shit. You're out here talking about heterosexual relationships, yet you on a date, quote unquote, allegedly, with a lesbian woman taking pictures, not trying to be obvious, but then, we have internet private investigators that ran into the lesbian girl you was there. I think a basketball player or something like that. I think she was a basketball player. Mm-hmm. And that chick had put up your hand and your nails, and that is distinctive. And then when you posted up, you just posted up a picture of you at the dinner table, like you just sitting there by yourself eating. Mm-hmm. And people put two and two together and found out that you out here scissoring and letting somebody eat your sack. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So so now it makes sense why you have disdain for men, because you're now riding on the same team as yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'll land my plane on that.
All facts. I got one more. Bobby, you want me to play it before you go, or you want to go in there after?
Go ahead and cook.
Okay, let me play it. I got one more with her because this just underscores how breathtakingly stupid this woman is. I don't know how anyone takes her seriously.
Is at 42 when I get pregnant.
Which is this year.
Right? Manifest it with me, Paul. I love you. When I get pregnant, at 42 am not leaving my husband. Hold on. Because I'm making a commitment not just to him, but to these babies, that we will have two people in this house that can tell you their narrative, their story, and you can choose who you want to listen to. You can choose whose story you want to hear. But I want to make sure that I give you everything that I can, which means if I have to sacrifice a little bit in that household to stay in it, if I got to have meetings with daddy to say, listen, we may not want to be here, but we made a commitment to be here. So what we got to do to make sure we healthy so that the family's healthy. But let me tell you why I say age is important in wisdom. In my 20s and even in my 30s, I would have been in my feelings, because emotions don't cause problems, feelings do. And I would have acted out of feeling and not commitment, because commitment's not a feeling. It's you doing what you said you was going to do regardless of how you feel. At 42, I can commit. That's that obedience to my promised land. At 20, in my 20s and 30s, guess what? I'd have threw the whole motherfucking towel in and said, you know what? Me and them kids going to be good because I do well. I'm a doctor. I got to support a family and friends. Nigga, we can co-parent.
Come on.
But that's in your 20s and 30s. This is why I'm saying to a person like yourself and other people watching, men and women who have already made those decisions, and they end up being bad decisions, not mistakes, because kids are not mistakes, but bad decisions in the way that you happen to create your kids' dynamic you put them in. At 42, I understand the power of commitment and sacrifice. At 23, I understood the power of how I feel. That's the difference, Paul. At 23, we gonna tear this house up. We ain't tripping off these kids. We gonna tear this house up.
She sounds like Kamala Harris when you ask her a substantive question. She just babbling and talking in circles. What the fuck was that? Bobby, talk me off the ledge, bro. Talk me off the ledge. It makes more sense to have kids in your 40s because in your 40s, you can commit. You can't commit till you're in your 40s. In your 20s, you're going to tear this house up. The fuck is she talking about? It's you, Bobby. What you got for that?
Don't you believe it?
Oh God. Oh.
Woo, let me get my. I got dust off of somewhere around here. Let me get my damn.
Your boots.
Chef apron. You know, I have the dubious distinction of being the world's first ever black iron chef.
And your boots. Get your boots.
Let me go ahead.
Wade through some shit. Go ahead, man.
My Crocs. I stay in the kitchen. Don't worry. I got my peanut oil. I got my wok on high heat.
What was
All
that?
right. Let's go ahead and wade into this heifer. First and foremost, just to tack on to that, this is the dessert. I'm about to throw dessert in first. So in your 20s, you basically were unable to make a logical decision. You were unable to commit, to make a choice and stick with it, as she so eloquently put it.
She was a bird.
But in your 40s, you can.
She's still a bird. Go ahead.
So much for the narrative about women maturing faster than men.
Come on. Come on now. Come on, Bobby. Take your time.
So you can have a geriatric pregnancy when your ovaries and your eggs are about to tap out and give up the ghost. You can do it now, but you're unable to do that in your 20s.
Right.
Because, but women mature faster than men. Okay.
Supposedly. Allegedly.
All y'all bird brain broads. Is this your queen?
Dude, they book on every show.
That's that. No, and I'm going to talk about it for a second real quick. First off, this woman right here is why this trend, and yes, I understand, and I'll make the disclaimer. I don't like making it, but I will make the disclaimer because what I'm going to say is that pyroclastic.
Okay.
This is why this current trend of women moving into the mental health services field, including counseling, therapy, psychology, psychiatry, that is why this is a very dangerous time in the history of the mental health field.
Agreed.
Because you have a whole lot of broken, dysfunctional broads like this who are going into these fields so they can they're trying to basically be a Batman villain. They're trying to be the Scarecrow. If you remember the old school Batman cartoon, whatever, you know the Scarecrow, Dr. Jonathan Crane, the psychologist who flips his wig and decides he's going to go ahead and take out Gotham by sowing fear and driving the populace crazy. And his fear gas is what he always did to get everyone to lose their minds. Yeah. Women like her are in that same mold. This is not to poo on all female mental health practitioners. There are some amazing ones out there. Absolutely phenomenal. They're solid. They're about business and they're looking to genuinely help. But you have a lot of women like her that get in the field for the purposes of weaponizing themselves.
Yes.
They're learning the language of healing to misapply it. They're learning how the brain works so they can be better manipulators. And Dr. Breich, and I'm using that term doctor very loosely, she is a code red alert dangerous heifer.
She is.
Because she's also a sex worker. I didn't say former, she's a sex worker. I don't care what anyone says. Again, y'all can be mad at me all you want to tonight. I don't care. It's cold as hell anyways. I could use some extra smoke. Bring me the goddamn firewood. We cook it. She's a sex worker because once a sex worker, always a sex worker. So you have a sex worker who now has gotten a mental health degree, or she's taken studies in mental health and psychology. And now you have the ultimate Jezebel. She is a master manipulator and exploitator of men and their desires. There's a reason why she keeps on going to these men's platforms. She ain't stupid. She is very tactical. She's going to these dudes, Cam Newton, Paul Pierce, Shannon Sharp, these goofy dudes who are led by their loins that will not challenge them or call them out on their BS.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to these sisterhood podcasts where she knows she has fellow kindred spirits amongst there. She does not go to places that are going to play hardball with her and ask her the hard questions. She's not going to come on a platform like this with dudes that aren't going to see her with her cleavage sticking out and her fat ass and them fuck me pumps and lusting. Dang, man, I wonder if I could take her out after this.
Yeah.
She's not going to go to those places. She's going to go to places that are serving up nice old school, middle school, underhand softball pitches. Meanwhile, she's got an MLB grade home run derby swing rating right there.
Yep.
She uses her appearance and her pretty words, which unfortunately a lot of us are easily taken in by regardless of gender, and she uses that to gain a foothold and build a platform based on that.
Mm-hmm.
Women like her are extremely dangerous. Watch out for the women that not just are in the mental health field, but are steadily talking about how they're going to therapy, but you cannot see any sort of changes. Those are women that are absorbing and learning the language of healing and weaponizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the gaslighters. That was big. That needed to be said. Next up, I told you I'm cooking this effort. Let's go.
Okay, go for it.
Next up.
We gotta get out of here soon, but
these
go for
women,
it.
I'm gonna keep it brief. I'm gonna try to just punch the punchline.
Okay. All right.
The nonsense she's talking about how we deserve these 8-course dinners, whatever nonsense she's talking about, all that nonsense, ties back into what I said earlier. These women that of her ilk, they want power and privilege minus responsibility and accountability.
Yep.
They want power, they want things, they want access, they want the luxury and the largesse, but they don't want to actually earn it or actually be held accountable to it. They want men who are going to let them do whatever they want. They want the yes, dear men. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. That's a good idea. All their idea, their program, their plan, their schedule. But when it goes to feces, it's not her. It's not when we were running your plan. It's, well, you're the man. You didn't have to do that. You could have chosen something else. They want the power and privilege without responsibility and accountability. Watch out for those women that want, but do not want to also take ownership. Next point. The older women, these really two tie into what I was going to say about them. These young men that she's bragging about, the young men, these relationships with the young men and the older women, they're on the rise. Understand. These dudes see older women, and I see them talking about it. They are looking for easy sex because they know that these women are very high in their sex drive as they increase. They know that as they get older, they're less likely to produce children or want to have children. So essentially, they're looking to shoot the club up, St. Valentine's Day Massacre style. And on top of that, they know that because these women are already struggling to get men, they are willing to trick on them. I have literally observed women who are my age and older. And I'm talking about, as far as aesthetics go, they bad. They real solid. But they are literally tricking on younger dudes. I'm talking about in their 20s because the dudes their age see the game and they ain't falling for it.
Right.
The dudes that are actually settling down, because there are some, the young men that are actually settling down, understand those men are not leaders. They are severed son husbands.
Yep.
Those are the dudes that have been raised by single mothers or been raised by women who are dominant in the household. The father is one of those, yes, dear men. And now that they've got away from the mother, they're still looking for that maternal figure. These are the men that will not challenge them. They will not hold them accountable. They will not, and they cannot lead them because they don't have the experience or the wisdom or the depth to lead as of yet. But they will go along with whatever she says, and they will essentially be mothering men like that. Women like her will be cool with a dude like that, but it will bother them because of their ego. They know, well, I deserve a man much better than me, but they can't get it. So they will settle for him, and they will mother him, and they will treat him in a resentful fashion.
Yep.
The last thing is, again, what she's talking about. This has been a theme of all the women that we've been talking about tonight thus far. Men, by and large, are willing to be content. Women are not. The saying goes that when it comes to relationships, men are hoping that their women will never change. The women get in the relationships hoping to change the men. The women have a never-ending want. Men, we're able to have little and be content. That's why when you see dudes that get their bachelor pad, they got a little couch, little box spring mattress, little TV, and a little game console, and they're cool with that. They're happy.
Yeah.
They can be making 6 figures, and they don't spend on furniture and furnishings because they have the bare essentials. They're good with that. They see value in other things. Women, they need to always have more. And that is the disconnect. The women that are able to be happy and content with what they have, men who see that and love them, they will go to the moon to go ahead and give them more than what they request. It's an inverse operation. But the woman that always wants, she's never satisfied, the next, again, the hedonic treadmill, always wanted the next big thing. Those dudes that deal with them, their pockets are the tightest. You can't get a mouse fart through that, John.
Facts. Yeah,
Kitchen's closed.
Bruh, you hit that out the park.
Come back tomorrow. We open at 11.
I don't understand. Again, it boggles the mind why people listen. This speaks to the leadership vacuum that exists in our community as to why people even listen to people like this. You know, they come on here, they use a whole bunch of big fancy words, and you know, they're structurally, the things that they're saying are sound. You know, they know how to construct really, you know, good sounding sentences, but they ain't saying shit.
That's Ant's favorite term. Your good old fashioned Tex-Mex style
bullshit burrito.
California bullshit burrito.
Facts.
With your chimichurri sauce, avocado, and adobo seasoning.
It's all bullshit. Oh my God. Every time this woman speaks, I'm just like, yo, and she knows not to go on anybody's show that's actually going to challenge her. And I want y'all to notice something with a lot of these women that I played today.
Very cunning.
I want y'all to notice something with a lot of these women that I played today. A lot of these women that are post-wall, you know, and they've obviously had relationship issues, you know, so you're going in some place to discuss having issues, having problems. Long story short, you're just relationship failures at the end of the day. All of these women are relationship failures. Notice the type of people that they talk to. It's almost always another woman or a moist man. One of the two. You don't ever see them, very seldom. You see them sit down with an alpha male, a man's man, a heterosexual man. You're a heterosexual woman sitting down talking to a gay man about your relationship issues, talking to another woman about your relationship issues. What the fuck you think you're going to learn? No one's going to challenge you. The men want to be you. The women going to cover up for you because you got a pair of titties, and unfortunately, that's how the sisterhood functions. You know, they go on auto cape whenever they see a woman out here with a problem. Instead of looking at, okay, what the situation is, they often will go on auto cape and just, you know, start vomiting a lot of bullshit to support the woman without, you know, even knowing what's fully going on. And so, again, you're put into this echo chamber.
Or the heterosexual hosts that aren't moist, but they can't stop thinking about questions leading to the bedroom for 3 seconds, so they just sit back and just let her talk, because if they open their mouth, it's going to be something to relate to. So you could take these 5 inches, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, i.e. Shannon Sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like you just said. Cam Newton. You know, these low energy dudes that all they can think about is banging the chick anyway. You know, it's like they're not going to sit down with somebody who's actually going to challenge them, where they may actually learn something. And, you know, I want to challenge people out there, you know, sit down with people that you're not likely going to agree with, but whose opinions you can respect, where you can actually learn something and grow. Because clearly what your ass is doing ain't working. You in your 40s and 50s and your ass still out here. Some of them finer than a motherfucker. You still can't catch. What the fuck does that tell you? God damn, common sense ain't so common. All right, so you know what I'm saying? We go wrap it up here, man. We gotta go ahead and get to our crown check. And yeah.
This is the crown check segment where we honor our queens.
respect.
Alright.
Joyner, pioneer in cosmetology. Marjorie Stewart Joyner was born on October 24, 1896, in Monterey, Virginia. She moved to Chicago and began studying cosmetology at the A.B. Moeller Beauty School in 1912. In 1916, she became the first African-American graduate of the school. That same year, at the age of 20, she got married to Robert E. Joyner, a podiatrist, and opened her salon. In Chicago, Joyner met another influential beautician and businesswoman who ran several beauty schools in the country, Madam C.J. Walker. In 1920, Joyner joined the C.J. Walker Beauty Colleges as the national supervisor. In the early 1920s, African-American women were accustomed to straightening their hair with very hot curling irons. This process was slow and uncomfortable because only one iron could be used at a time. This made Joyner think of ways to improve on this method. One day, while making a pot roast in her kitchen, Joyner looked at the roast, which was being held together and heated with several thin, long rods from within. She envisioned a similar system that would use several rods hung above the client's head, which could roll several portions of the hair at once. Then, they could be heated up to produce a permanent wave or curl into her hair for a few days. In 1926, she began experimenting until she achieved a feasible prototype. She received a U.S. patent for her invention, the perfect wave machine, in 1928.
Shout out to this sister, man. Oh my God. Like, listen to the innovation, man. Like, I got a few gems from that. One, can we get some unity for the sisters? Like, people talk about Madam C.J. Walker, but nobody ever talks about the team around Madam C.J. Walker. Or a lot of the people that we know, you know, that are some of our heroes, they don't talk about the team around them. This lady was one of the people who worked in tandem with Madam C.J. Walker. And, you know, that last part where they're talking about she was cooking a pot roast one day, and she's looking at the pot roast and the way that it's cooking, and she's thinking, damn, I could use this same concept on a machine that curls hair. You know, and it's like, yo, the ingenuity is crazy. Like, that sister right, that's powerful, man. I love to hear stuff like this because, again, you know, they'll tell you that all black women know how to do is twerk. If you listen to the media, or if you watch reality TV, or if you listen to garbage ass rappers that are out today, female and male, you know what I'm saying? They'll have you think that all black women can do is twerk, but the contributions that black women made to society from back when are extensive. Shout out to this sister for her contributions to the cosmetic industry. I was officially wowed. What y'all got on that? And then take us home. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, one thing I always say is that I saw a post the other day from a mutual Facebook friend, and she wrote, you know, people, you know, they get mad when you out here, you know, just wanting to party and do, you know, yourself, because life is so short that you just never know when you're going to go or when you're not going to be able to do the things you want to do. And my thing is, you know, you can do what you can do, but have balance. The thing about it is a lot of these women want to go out here and only party and not build nothing. And this is why the next generation is stuck, because there's nobody passing down the torch. So, you know, I just pray that we have a lot more women in the future that are going to be pioneers and are going to be inventors and start doing things that is going to be collectively great for the future generation, you know. So shout out to that sister and all the other sisters that have paved the way for the women today to live a very luxurious and easy life because of the hard efforts that they put. Now, the thing is, are the women today going to make that same pathway to make it an easier life for the future generation coming? And that's what we need. I will be going up to Tallahassee tomorrow. I took off work to go up to Tallahassee. I have a historical bill that's being put on the table, the floor, and I have to go and speak on it. Like I said, I've been with phenomenal state rep. She gave me some pointers this time go around. She did a phenomenal job when she was in office, and we got a lot of bills passed. Even the bill that gave women free clinical checkups to make sure that they can detect breast cancer and all of that. That was a bill that was passed that was for free. I forgot the name of the bill, but I can always give people the name of the bill next time we're on the show. But this bill here is going to be a historical bill. And hopefully if this gets passed, man, I'm definitely coming down to buy a section and have the manifestations, chill in the section to celebrate it, because this right here, this bill is legacy. This bill is going to be something that when I pass, my name will still be affiliated with this bill and the organization behind it. So it's going to be super dope, man. So all I'm trying to tell people is to go out here and do things, man. Create legacy, man. Like, you can do what you want to do, but have that balance of doing both at least.
Yeah.
And man, my plane on that.
That's what's up, man. Hey, see if you can get some video of that too. That would be great. If you can get some video.
It will be. Anytime you speak on the floor, you can look online. So after I speak on the floor, I'll give you the link for you guys to see it and things like that.
Extraordinary, man. We're gonna blast that out there. That's
proud of you, big dog.
Shout out to the homie, man. We proud of you, man. You kicking ass and taking names in this bitch. That's what it is, yo. I love that shit. I love it. I'm excited. That's what's up. Go ahead, Bobby Drake. What's up? Take us home, man.
Big kudos again. Big tip of the hat to Sir Anthony Malcolm.
Big deal.
Kicking ass, taking names, and not necessarily in that order. Very nicely done, brother. Keep up the great work, man. Big ups to that sister as well, too. Phenomenal. That's the definition of seeing the need and meeting the need. And I know that I'm glad that origin story for that invention was included as well, too. Anybody that's an artist, that's an inventor, or any type of creative whatsoever, whether it's from the arts to the actual science and the tech, all of us can relate to, getting inspirations from the wildest places sometimes. Man, just comes out of nowhere, left field, you doing something completely different, not associated with whatever your specialty or your area of expertise is. And then all of a sudden you just get that little light bulb going off and like, I wonder if, and the next thing you know, something beautiful results from that. So big ups to that amazing creative spirit and creative mind that she had. And also that fearlessness to have the idea and to try it out and to, take that step. And also big up to Madam C.J. Walker for meeting that sister and recognizing the potential. And that's something that we need to be able to do going forward, man. Everyone doesn't always have gifts. God blessed us all so that nobody ever has everything. Nobody has a monopoly. And the reason for that is because we're supposed to come together and have teamwork and put ourselves together. You have some people that have resources, but they don't have ideas. I've talked about this before. You have some people that have ideas and don't have resources. And we need to do a better job of getting those people together in the same room so we can build together. Look, I got some money burning a hole in my pocket. I want to make a difference, but I don't know where to apply it to. I need some people with ideas. Or someone, man, I got some really great ideas. I'm low on funds, but I got a whole safe in my brain of what's in here can make us all rich. I'm looking for someone to back me, give me some capital, whatever. We need to get these people together and to be more open towards working with one another so we can go ahead and make some real impacts. Because that sister's invention, she put that into play in the beginning pretty much of the 20th century. And we still using that or offshoots of that today. Still using that. So that just shows how valuable and how impactful that invention is. But at the same time, that also lets us know that we're high past due for the next innovation. So what she had was amazing, but we've been there too long. We need the next step up. So who's going to be the sister or the brother to make that happen?
Mm-hmm.
We want to thank everyone that kicked it with us tonight. Thank you for listening to this episode talking about hitting the wall. Look, I know a lot of less than savory and unscrupulous sources have been talking and gloating and gleaning about women hitting the wall. But the reality here is on this platform, we're not thrilled to see women hit the wall, at least not without already achieving everything that is within their potential to achieve, which also includes sound, solid, healthy, functional, whole, sustaining, and thriving relationships and marriages.
Yes.
And it is the utmost shame. We've seen some examples tonight of some women who, as far as outward appearances go, are lovely, amazing, wonderful, little to no drawback against them. But unfortunately, the mindset on the internals, they are far from what the outside showcases. And what we're saying is it doesn't have to be that way.
Facts.
Unfortunately, there's been a lot of nonsense that ladies have been fed from childhood. And it is not your fault that you've been fed lies. It's not your fault that your foundation, what you have carved a life for yourself, what you've made it 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years in existence has been built on falsehoods. Sorry for that. That's not your fault. However, making the changes, renovating, breaking up that foundation, repairing it, replacing it, swapping it out for something that you can actually build on top of, that is 100% your responsibility. You're not to blame for what happened to you, but you are responsible for correcting that. And furthermore, you're also responsible for teaching the next generation so they don't have to go and take the L's that you did. That is on all of us to take an active role in helping to mold and to uplift the next generation so that they get the game better than what we got. We're not supposed to be trying to have a whole misery loves company mindset. No. If it's possible for us to go out by ourselves, if it's possible for us to jump on the grenade and take the L so the rest can survive and thrive, we should be honored to do that. And not robbery. And we didn't tap into it because it's not about us, but fellas, there's also a wall for us as well, too. We also need to be on our job and be on our script because there are things that we must also do. We must make sure that if we're going to be called leader, that we are taking the steps that can be worthy of leadership. We can't just go ahead and just have the mantle of leadership looking all dusty and dingy. No, you got to man up as well, too, because the same sisters that we're advocating for and championing for being better, they need to have better men worthy of them. We don't want any lopsided situations. We don't want crusty women getting with solid dudes. We don't want crusty men getting with solid women. We want water to meet its own level. So make sure you're at the highest level possible for the water that we're trying to elevate over here. If you like what you heard tonight, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Put us on your socials, but we love word of mouth as well, too. Make sure that our names are bubbled in the streets. The bell icon above our head, make sure you hit that and subscribe to all the notifications. We're not going to go crazy in your inbox, but when 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time rolls around, you'll know it's time for the hottest show in the game right now.
There you go.
Crew, we appreciate you. Facebook fam, big salute. Instagram Mafia, you know what it is. At the end of the day, we want to thank those who joined us with us live and all those keeping it real with the replay. We'll catch you next week. Same time, same place, same space. This brother over here is Major Gage. This senator in training right here is Anthony Malcolm. And I am your favorite Iron Chef, Bobby Drake. And united, we are Manifestations 2020. God bless.
That's what I'm talking about.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. A place where we inform, build, and inspire. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. A place where we inform. Manifestation. A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there, you gotta hunt for your meals.
we all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. A place where we inform. Manifestations. A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter, make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. A place where we inform. Manifestations. A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage, we are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. A place where we inform, build, and inspire.